Welcome to Battle of the Partners, where we take expert players from regular partnerships and turn them into rivals over an 8-board challenge. This episode features Anita Sinclair, World Bridge Series gold medalist and winner of many domestic competitions including the Gold Cup, playing against her regular professional partner Peter Crouch. As well as playing for England and winning multiple Gold Cups, Peter has won major US competitions including the Vanderbilt. He and Anita won a bronze medal together in the World Teams Championships in 2017.
First hand I've got, an interesting hand. 6-4 hands are always worth upgrading, especially if you get a fit. And I've got 3 aces and a king. And so this is a very powerful hand, even though it's only 15 points. Right, partner's passed, not very interesting. Right, I'm still going to bid. I could bid 2 hearts, or I could make a take-out double, I guess. But 2 diamonds looks better to me with the disparity between the diamonds and the clubs. My partners on BBO tend to be quite conservative, so I'm not going to even let them play 2 spades at love all. So I'm going to make an aggressive take-out double. Okay. Partners 4 clubs is a bit of a surprise, given they bid 3 clubs on the left and they weren't able to bid over 2 hearts. My gut feeling is this contract's going to go down. This partner shouldn't have too many hearts, so I'm going to make, I hope, a penalty double. Okay, I suspect partner's short in hearts, so there's something to be said for leading the ace of hearts, but I'm going to stick with leading the king of diamonds. Okay, so not looking so promising because it doesn't look like I've got a diamond trick. Partner's probably got a doubleton diamond and probably got length in clubs. I'm going to switch to a trump. Hopefully that might stop them roughing all the hearts in the dummy. So a partner's shape is likely to be something in the region of, I'm guessing, 3-2-2-6 would be a possibility. Looks right to play the ace of clubs now. It can't be pitching hearts from table, so I'm going to play another club. Looks like this contract might be making. My partner had the king of hearts overall. Okay, so we've beaten it, so that's good. No, they shouldn't probably be having more losers. I got a bit lucky here. Maybe it was a bit rash to double.
Quite bold bidding by Peter there, doubling 2 spades for takeout, and then after hearing a noise from partner deciding to wield the axe. That all resulted in a squeaky one off. The robot missed a good chance to make the contract. When Peter covered the heart queen with the ace and returned to heart, a roughened dummy would see the heart king fall. The principle of restricted choice applies in the heart suit, as Peter might have played the heart king had he had them both. Also, if he had ace king of hearts, he may well have led those.
Right, well, third seat, 1 heart, completely clear. So we could either bid 2 hearts or 2 diamonds. I sort of like bidding 2 diamonds here because if my partner could have, he can pull that to 2 hearts with just 2 of them, but he could easily have several diamonds. So we'll try that. My guess is that the 2 heart bid from West is just saying he's got a good hand and he likes spades. And also he passed my original 1 heart, so I'm suspicious of him. Maybe he's got some hearts. So I'm just going to pass and see what my partner does. Okay, well, let's see how 4 spades plays. I think my partner's short hearts, so I'm sort of tempted to play ace and another heart. On the other hand, that might just give opponents the discard that they need for their diamonds. I'm going to start with the ace of diamonds and see what happens. So my partner plays the 6, which is a low card. I have no idea whether the bots play high-low. Oh, this is terrible. I mean, if I was playing with Peter, we play upside down carding, so a low card would mean he's probably got 2. But I'm quite certain that the bots wouldn't play upside down carding, they'd probably play high-low. And that Queen of Diamonds means nothing, you just simply be unblocking. So it's very, very difficult. I'm going to risk the King of Diamonds. This could be the worst mistake of my life. Oh, hang on a second. I can actually play a low diamond and then he can ruff it. Yeah, let's try this, because I think this is maybe a situation where I can't necessarily blow the whole hand if I'm wrong. Oh, why don't the bots play some sort of carding? It would make life so much easier. It's not that difficult. Throwing away clubs like we're going out of fashion. I have not been keeping count of clubs, which is a mistake. Definitely have him. And play the 10 of hearts. Yeah.
Anita showing more respect for the robot's bidding here, electing not to double with 4 likely tricks. She laments that the robots don't give helpful signals. I think we've all had partners like that. Not many people know, but in actual fact the robots do play some signals. At trick 1 they will play a high spot with the ace or king, or with the queen behind dummy's ace or king. Sadly, they do not give count to trick 1, but they do usually give standard count on subsequent tricks. And when it doesn't matter, they tend to randomize their spot cards.
So this was a very difficult hand for me because I didn't know what signals the robot would make. And so when I led the ace of diamonds, I was hoping for a count signal, or I led the king. I can't remember. I led one of them and I was hoping for a count signal. And I didn't understand. And he played the 6. And I knew he must do standard counts, and the other chap played the queen, and so it seemed quite probable to me that he just had a single from diamond. And so then I played a low diamond, and that gave the contract away. I feel very sad about this hand because I think the robot should give me a count signal, and I think any normal player would give me a count signal. So I blame the robots.
To be honest, Anita, once you leave the top diamond, as did I at the other table, the contract is cold, I think.
I know, but it obviously wasn't cold for you, Peter, because you obviously...
Actually, the robot misplayed the hand. But you can just set up the diamonds by using the spades as entries.
I understand that, but I gave him the contract at this point. It was obvious then how to play it.
Yeah.
And so I did, I did, and it was a really difficult, and so I feel really... I feel angry with the robot, and I would like to send him into Zia's office.
I mean, in my table, that they should have made the contract. I misdefended when I led the ace of diamonds because I had to lead a trump, which is probably the indicated lead against 4 spades double, because I've got 4 tricks as long as they stand up, and trump lead's not going to allow them to run any winners on a different suit because I've controlled all the other suits. So I think a trump lead was the indicated lead, and I made a poor lead. And then I switched to a trump. At least I was sort of halfway there. And now, basically, I still let it through. I think I can't do much better because Declara could have set up the diamonds at this point. It looks like they were cold. I mean, when Declara led the queen of hearts here, I put the ace up. So now Declara, I suppose, could have just roughed the low heart with the king of spades and pitched the low heart on the king of clubs and the jack of hearts as a winner, but Clara didn't manage to do that. So Clara decided to take the pitch when I let her heart back, which was not particularly unreasonable from a robot. So I think I was lucky here. I think I just got lucky to win 11 imps, and
You'll be very generous. You obviously knew your bots better than I did.
Yeah, I mean, one of the issues with playing with robots is you're never quite sure what they're going to do. Certainly in terms of defensive carding, you have no clue.
But I was pretty certain that they play standard carding, and I just thought they could give a count. I mean, what's so hard? I mean, it's
they don't. I mean, they don't do that. I mean, that's one of the issues with robots, and it's one of the problems with bridge, I guess, for using robots, that they're never going to be good enough to play, or not in the foreseeable future. Bridge is a very different game from chess, so. You can use robots or computers to determine double dummy and all that sort of stuff. They're brilliant at that sort of stuff. But the moment they're sort of interacting with another human, they really don't know enough to play like a human. So I play a little bit against robots when I play challenge matches against my brother and Alison Green, and you just have to basically ignore what they're doing and just you're on your own.
Yeah, but you do that with your brother anyway, so
it's just more. I look at them as sort of fairly light entertainment in terms of just having a bit of fun with.
Yeah. No, I was only having a bit of fun as well. It's just I got upset about this hand because it just I felt like I'd been hoodwinked.
Yeah.
I felt the 3 robots were against me. It was me versus all 3 of them, rather than having a partner at the table. The rest of the hands mistakes were my own.
Although it looks like 4 spades is cold there are certainly some issues with setting up the diamonds. You don't have all that many entries. Or if you lead a trump, as Peter suggests, the play can get kind of complicated. And suppose that you win and then play a diamond just to get communications between the 2 hands, and South wins and plays a low heart. Now North can take their king and play a trump. Yeah, I know it's all a bit double dummy. You're probably not under leading the ace of hearts here. Declarer can win in their hand and they can lead the club 5, and they give South an awful problem. It looks a bit like a Morton's fork. If they take it, then Declarer can pitch 1 heart on the club and take a roughing finesse against the ace. And if South ducks, then Declarer can win and they pitch a club on the jack of diamonds. So it looks like a Morton's fork, but it actually isn't, because now South can return the ace of clubs and the contract will go down. So it's kind of a bit of an obscure sequence, but definitely a very interesting hand. So doubling and beating that 4 spades has given Peter an 11 imp lead at the start of this challenge. Let's see how they do with the next hand.
Years ago, everybody would have opened this hand 1 diamond, even playing strong low trump. A lot of people now open these hands 1 low trump when they're 542, which makes sense when you've got 4 hearts and a 5-card minor. But I tend not to. I tend to always open the minor when I've got 4 spades and a 5-card minor, unless the hand is particularly soft. And what I mean by that, queen X's and things like that. Or I've got good stops in both minors and weak suits. So I suspect I'm in the minority playing strong low trump when I'm going to open a diamond with this hand rather than 1 low trump. Okay, so partner's been a no trump. So partner's probably got up to about 10. Now, this is the advantage of opening a no trump. Now, I'm not really sure whether I should raise or whether I should pass, but I'm going to pass, stick with what I originally thought. If partner's got 11 or even a decent 10, I'm probably going to regret this. So partner's got a 9 count. So yeah, I'm going to make 1 no trump, might make 3 no trumps. Let's see what I should do. I think probably try to set up the diamonds. So I'm going to win the first heart and play a diamond towards the queen. Okay, that's found a very friendly defence, switching to a spade. It's pretty straightforward play here. Good news, it looked like I probably did the right thing staying low. So I think probably the best play now is to play a spade to the 10. Or maybe I should play a heart to the ace and a spade towards the jack. Maybe they can cash 2 clubs if I do that. So probably better to play a spade. Or can I play a diamond to the 9? Maybe that's a better option. I think I'm going to play a diamond to the 9. Right, so I'm not doing very well on this, but looks like I'm going to go down now. I should have easily made this, so this wasn't my best play. If I'd just kept a diamond in the dummy, I would have done better. The only good news is I didn't open a no trump when I might have got to 3 no trumps. Okay, so not a great hand, not well played. Chance for Anita to make a pickup, but knowing Anita, she'll probably open a no trump and maybe get to 3 no trumps and go down anyway.
Peter choosing not to go with the more current approach to opening that hand 1 no trump and finding his initial optimism about the outcome was misplaced. Let's see whether it goes the way he predicts for Anita.
Playing with Peter, I can open this hand 1 diamond because we can make a strong rebid of a no trump showing 15 plus points, and in this case a sort of slightly unbalanced hand. But here with these bots, I'm going to open it to no trump because I don't know what their rebids are like. So 2 diamonds is a transfer. He's got a minimum hand with 5 hearts. I mean, I haven't got a great hand. It's probably worth not even 15 points, to be honest, because the values are not in my long suits. So I'm just going to pass 2 no trump. I could pull to 3 hearts and play in a 5-2 fit with my ace queen of hearts, which has some merit, but I think I'll stick in 2 no trump and go for making, hopefully, 8 tricks rather than 9 and 3 hearts. So the problem here is how to get up to dummy to cash the long hearts. Okay, well, we'll see what happens in clubs. Obviously this isn't going to be the best. So the first thing I'm going to do here is cash the ace queen of hearts, so that if ever anything happens to get to dummy, possibly the hearts are 3-3 out, and I can just cash them. I noticed that East there played high on the hearts, which I'm suspecting is now giving count. That means he's got 4, so the hearts aren't really likely to happen. So I've got 2 entries, 2 possible entries to dummy. One is the king of diamonds being with West, and the other is possibly setting up that jack of spades. I'm going to start off with the obvious king of diamonds and see what happens. And that's okay, I don't mind. I don't mind that. And he whizzed straight back with a diamond because he wants another club being pushed through. My instinct here is to take the ace and perhaps play another diamond with a hope that the king jack of diamonds is with East. The diamonds are 3-3, then maybe East has to take this diamond and I keep him on lead. Okay, we play the jack of diamonds. That could be a false card. He could have the jack 10, all sorts of things are possible. So let's just play 7 of diamonds and see what happens. And I'm going to have to play a spade or a heart. Play a heart. And I played a club, which is a bizarre play, but there you go. I'm very happy to see that. And it's the moment of truth. Okay, so I'm going to make 3 no trump. Just playing it.
Nice to see Peter correctly predicting Anita's opening 1 no trump. It's always good when you know your partner's style. With only 15 points, it looks normal to decline an invitational bid, but the ace queen of hearts are golden, and if 5 heart tricks are running, maybe the point count is less important, and there's a vulnerable game at stake. The robots could have given her a nasty guess had they returned a low club rather than the ace, but robots don't understand that humans can misguess suits. They assume we'll make the double dummy play every time.
You played in 2 no trumps up 1, and I went down in 1 no trump. So, I think I commented at the time that I tend to open these hands 1 diamond, and I thought you might open the hand a no trump.
Yeah.
Which you did. You played in a perfectly sensible contract, and you made 9 tricks. I played the hand as badly as I possibly could play it, I guess, in terms of the layout. I went 1 off in 1 no trump. So you made 9 tricks and I made 6. That's a 3 trick swing. So that was probably the worst hand from my perspective. And, free trick difference in declarer play is quite a lot.
Quite a lot indeed. I think I prefer Anita's line of unblocking the hearts first. There's a good chance you'll eventually get to dummy to enjoy the heart king, and the hearts may be 3-3. The robots often lead low from 3 small. 3 no trumps can actually be defeated. On a low club lead, West needs to insert the queen, but it's not so obvious to do that. However, Anita made 9 tricks, and in doing so she has pulled back 6 imps on their hand. Boards 3 and 4 contained little of interest, and both players made 3 no trump up 3 on board 3, and 3 no trump up 2 on board 4. So we move on to hand 5 with Anita now a more manageable 5 imps behind.
So here, I probably ought to pass, but I know playing up against the robots, my partner will pass, and I'm worried about missing a vulnerable game. And having length in clubs means I can hold up clubs. So I'm going to take a real chance, and I'm going to bid 3 no trumps rather than double. I think probably I should pass, but we'll see. Okay, caught partner with a hand that I wish I'd made take a double, maybe, but I'm going to duck the first club. Hopefully keep East out of the game. I'll probably rely on them to have 7 clubs, but is it worth me winning the second club? Probably worth winning the second club. So at least I don't give them a trick, and if they've only got king, queen of clubs, I might be able to get away with losing maybe 1 spade. Maybe the heart finesse is onside. Yeah, maybe I'm going to go all out for this. So I'm going to play for the hearts to be onside. Okay, so now I'm going to take the spade finesse and hope that they don't have another club. Okay, that's good. So I play the spade back. Looks like the spade on as a split. Okay, so I can now take the heart finesse again. And if I play a spade now and king appears, I've actually got 9 tricks. If the king doesn't appear, I can still play for the king of diamonds to be with West. So I think I'll still be okay. The king has appeared. So now I'm going to play a heart to the king, cash the 10 of spades, pitching my club. Now I'm going to play a diamond to the ace, and I'm going to make an over trick if the king of diamonds is with West. Yeah. So I've got pretty lucky here, I'd say. I made a bit of a rash bid opposite a past partner, but that's the problem with preempt sometimes. It makes it very easy for you to declare the hand. I would have probably ducked 2 rounds of clubs in most games, but playing against the robots, they're pretty sound with their 3-level openings. I've got used to that.
Peter getting away with that rather bold 3 no trump bid there. I take his point about being able to hold up the ace of clubs, but it still feels too dangerous to me with only 4 tricks facing a passed hand. I'd worry that West would double 3 no trumps, and the result would be an absolute massacre.
Okay, board 5, 3 clubs by East, which I'm guessing is what I think it is. Here we go, preempt 7 clubs, not many points. I have 16 points, and I have a stopper in clubs. My instinct is to bid 3 no trumps, which is probably completely crazy. Because if my partner has nothing at all, I could sail many down. I could pass and wait for my partner to reopen with a double and then bid 3 no trump, which might work. I could pass and defend 3 clubs, probably go 1 down. I could double and then hope that my partner can bid 3 hearts. We're vulnerable and we're playing imps, so really we want to play in game. The most likely game is probably 4 hearts. I mean, I have a very empty hand. Aces are tremendously wonderful, but I had nothing else. I don't even have a 10. So probably playing 3 no trump is bonkers. So I'm just going to double and see what my partner can do. He can bid 3 hearts. Okay, so he's got less than 10 points because he hasn't opened. So let's give him 8 points. Let's give him king to 4 hearts. King, queen. No, king to 4 hearts. That's 3 points. And let's give him nothing in clubs. And let's give him the king of spades. That's 6 points, and the Queen of Diamonds. And let's give him a doubleton club. Pessimistically, we aren't making game with that if he's got that hand. I think if he had King, Queen to 5 hearts and short clubs, he should bid 4 hearts. So I'm just going to pass 3 hearts. So he's got actually quite a nice hand. We need to find the Queen of Hearts. We need to find the King of Diamonds. We've got these fairly nice spades. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to ruff a club and I'm going to play a spade to the 8. Now, hopefully this chap can play something useful for me. That's very useful. Thank you very much. Now, the fact that West didn't come back with a heart suggests very strongly to me that he has the Queen of Hearts. So I'm going to play for West to have the Queen of Hearts. I have a suspicion that the hearts now might be 4-1, because East has got 7 clubs, probably, 2 spades, 1 heart. And the question is, who has the King of Diamonds? So many different ways that this hand can bite me. But I really want to preserve my entry into dummy with the 7 of spades to the 10 of spades. So I am going to play it safe, I think. So if he had 1 heart, he's 7 clubs, 2 spades, 1 heart, and 3 diamonds. It's possible. The trouble is that if I come down with the ace of diamonds and I take another heart finesse, and the hearts are 4-1, it doesn't really help me very much. So perhaps what I should do is come down to the ace of diamonds, play a club. No, that's a terrible idea. Okay, we could play a spade. If East roughs the spade, then he'd play a club. And then I could play another spade and drop a diamond on it. Yeah, I'm going to try this just because I'm curious as to how this line would work out. It's probably, okay, that's kind of cool. So now we know that East has got 7 clubs, 3 spades, an unknown number of diamonds. Now what I'm going to do is play another spade. I'm going to force someone to rough it. So not him, and let's drop a diamond. And he roughs it. So he plays a heart, which is pretty predictable. And then we come back with him, and we go, it's a diamond, then we play a club, duck it, and then he gets his King of Diamonds, and then I claim. Great fun. 4 was makeable, but I was in 4, so luckily I didn't have to think about it.
I'm more in Anita's camp on that horrible bid over 3 clubs. I would be torn between pass and double rather than risk 3 no trump. The robot should bid 4 clubs over double, and then South might get to the reasonable 4 hearts. As Anita says, 4 is makeable if she was in it. Finessing the heart return and leading up to the Queen of Diamonds would get you there. There's a strong inference that the King of Diamonds is on side, because otherwise East would probably have opened 1 club with all those other cards.
I came within a hair's breadth of bidding 3 no trump. I just hated the fact I just had 4 empty aces and no 10s.
Right, so my general view here is very much is that can you control the opponent's suit? So here, with ace to 3 clubs, you can control the opponent's suit and you can probably stop East getting in. It's one of the things you should look at when you're deciding whether to bid 3N. And if you've got something like King X in the suit, then unless the hand on your left has got a singleton, they're going to be able to duck the suit and you're not going to be able to hold up. If you have Ace X and the hand on your left's got a doubleton, you can just hold up 1 round. So Ace X is a much better holding than King X. And Ace to 3 gives you control of the suit. Because even if the clubs were 3-1 here, you could duck and win the 3rd club and still keep East out of the game. And the other thing I would say is when you're playing in no trumps, you've got slightly more options maybe than you've got in a suit contract, where you probably worried if you don't play trumps, they might be able to get a ruff. And also, when they preempt, it's a lot easier hand to play a lot of the time, because you know an awful lot about the opponent's hand in terms of their point count, but also their length in the side suit. So for me, it's a pretty horrible hand, the South Ham, but I was playing against the robots, and I was trying to maybe gain a little bit. So bidding free on these sort of hands is although it doesn't necessarily look particularly sound, is actually something that tends to work.
Well, where did you imagine your source of tricks was going to be?
Well, I was going to wait and see what dummy came down with, so I could see.
But, I mean, he's a passed hand.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you, Anita. I'm saying it's not a sound trick, but these sort of things tend to work a lot of the time, especially when they preempt, and especially when you're playing maybe against the robots. Look at North's hand. North's hand's got a singleton club and a 7 count, so we've only got 23 points. Yet making 3 no trumps was relatively comfortable for me. So I made.
Clearly you made the right decision. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I just, you know me. I like to bid.
Yeah, I know.
I just couldn't do it.
But look at the East. Look at the East hand. The East hand couldn't get into the game.
Yeah, no, I see that.
I mean, you've got the Ace of Spades over the King, which is their only potential entry, and you could duck the clubs. I mean, you might, if the opponent's at this vulnerability on playing in a match, you probably duck and win the 3rd club, because you'd be worried that maybe West had 3, but.
Yeah.
The robots always have 7 when they open a preempt.
Do they? Right.
I'm comfortable winning the 2nd round. So, I mean, I don't think there was a huge amount to the play. I think this was mainly about the bidding.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, I agree with you. And making 3 hearts wasn't easy. You know, obviously making 3 no trump was easier.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I mean, you'll find that I think that most top players now tend to bid 3 no trumps with almost any excuse over a preempt, rather than actually overcall a suit or make a takeout double.
Peter makes a good point that the robot may not bid correctly after a preempt, which definitely boosts the chances of 3 no trump being the winning bid, but I still don't like it. He gets away with it this time, though, and that result has given him another 10 imps. On to the next hand.
So anyway, on to the next board. Well, this is a sort of hand that years ago people would have just passed. Balance 4 3 but most people now tend to make a takeout double here, and I'm more conservative than most. I would certainly not double if partner was a passed hand and I was vulnerable, but here I'm non-vulnerable. I've got nothing wasted in clubs, so I'm going to make a takeout double. Partner's 2 clubs, strong bid, Q bid, just asking me to describe my hand, so I'm going to bid 2 hearts, 4 hearts. We'll wait and see. I'm not very optimistic, but we'll see. Okay, I've got 1 loser in spades, I've got 1 loser in diamonds, I've got almost certainly a loser in clubs. So it looks like I'm going to need the hearts to come in for no loser. So what's the opportunity in hearts? Well, I can basically play ace king of hearts and hope the queen drops, or I could run the jack of hearts and play the 10-1 on the left, but I've got entry issues. So I'm just going to win the ace of clubs in case the clubs are 5-1. I'm pretty sure the club king's off. And I'm going to cash a couple of hearts and hope the queen drops. Queen drops, I'm in, there we are, it's dropped on my left, so I'm in good position. So if I draw the last trump, I'll just play on clubs. I'm just wondering whether I should not draw the last trump, because the only one that can rough clubs is West, and he's not going to have any more trumps left. So maybe it's better for me to play on clubs now and draw the last trump later. Let's try that. Okay, so it looks like the clubs were 4-1. It looks like I'm going to make this hand now. Okay. I can cash a couple of clubs. Eventually I'm going to lose a spade. I can claim now. So a bit of a lucky layout for me there. Not that great a game on the bidding, but happened to make.
Peter's choice to make the Italian double there gets him to a pushy 4 hearts. The Queen of Hearts obligingly falls, and hey presto, the contract rolls in. a classic example of fortune favouring the brave.
I could make a cheeky overcall of one no trump here. Tiny bit tempted to do that because I'm not vulnerable. But on the other hand, I think my partner won't know me enough to know that I might make a cheeky one no trump overcall and punish me for it. So I'll let him. No, okay. So we're playing in one club. When in doubt, lead trumps. Especially when a club can be short. Rise of the 10 here. Obviously, I shouldn't have done that. That's mine. I'm going to play on diamonds. Force him to shorten himself or whatever he's going to do with them. I have that. I'll play the 9 of hearts. The spade. 6 of hearts. 2 spades. I suppose we had many games we could have been in. I should have made the cheeky one with trump overcall.
I understand Anita's temptation to bid one no trump, but I agree that it would perhaps be a bit too much, and you can't trust the robots not to get overexcited. On the other hand, doubling, as Peter did, seems pretty low risk. Okay, we prefer to have 2 clubs, but you can't always wait for the perfect hand.
The auction at your table was pretty straightforward. One club all passed, basically. And I would say that
I did think about doing a sneaky one no trump overcall.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting because I think in today's world where one club is often 2, you don't really need to worry too much about a club stop for a number of reasons.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, but then I decided I'd let partner do something sensible, and he didn't.
Yeah, I mean, for me, there's 2 reasons why you don't need to worry too much about a club stop. One is that often the hand on your right is balanced. And secondly, even when they've got clubs, their partner invariably doesn't lead a club because they think you've got clubs. When you
Exactly. I did think about it, but I thought that partner would do something, and partner didn't.
Yeah. And if you went...
I mean, what would you do if you were the robot and it gone one club pass to you?
Well, it's an interesting decision here. I would probably pass this north because of the vulnerability. Because partner hasn't bid over a club, and I've got good defence to clubs, and the opponents are vulnerable, and if they go down, then they're going down in hundreds, not 50s. I mean, the form of scoring always makes a difference here, but because if you're pairs, you get 100 and you defending one club down 1 and you can make 110, that's not great.
Yeah.
But say at imps, I think it's reasonably clear to pass a club. If the partner's got a decent hand, you expect to beat a club, and also their fit could be like 3-2. I mean, each could easily have had 3 clubs here, and they could be going down 4 or 5, and you might not make a game. I mean, I would say that in the real world, very few West would actually pass a club. They would bid a diamond, I suspect, because they'd be worried about playing in a 3-2 club fit, and they have got 7 diamonds. They'd probably bid a diamond, then try and get out to 2 diamonds on the next round if that was possible.
Yeah.
But if you went back 30 years ago, everybody would have passed with your hand. If you went back 20 years ago, most people would pass with your hand over a club. But as time's gone on, more and more people are doubling one club. Not overcalling a no trump here because you haven't really got enough tricks. But doubling a club, especially when you don't have a lot of cards in their suit. So here I've got no cards in their suit. I don't really mind if partner bids any of the other suits. So, if you had something like King Jack 1 club and 2 small diamonds, then it's less attractive, or even 3 small diamonds. But here I think it's probably pretty mainstream to overcall with a double over a club opening bid.
Well, I agree with you. If I'd been playing with you, I would have definitely overcalled a double. I wouldn't have even thought of one no trump because it was just be bizarre with you. But with the robot, I'm worrying about doubling and him like bidding something peculiar.
Yeah. But that all being said, if you look at the contract, I mean, 4 hearts isn't a very good contract. So you did the right thing in theory. I mean, 4 hearts is pretty horrible. I mean, you've got almost certainly a club loser because the king's going to be offside. You've got the ace of diamonds to lose and the ace of spades to lose. So 4 hearts needed the hearts coming in. So queen 1 heart. So I was extremely lucky to make 4 hearts here.
You're always so generous, Peter.
So I was very, very undeserved gain of 3 imps. And if 4 hearts had gone down, you'd have got 300. I'd have gone for 50, say. And 350, I think, I'm not very good on the scale. I must admit, it's 8 or 9. And so you would have made a big gain if there'd been queen to 3 hearts and 10-1. So I would say you were very unlucky on that board.
Yeah, but isn't 3 no trump a good contract, Peter?
Well, yeah, 3 no trumps is probably a pretty good contract. I mean, I'm not sure how.
I mean, do you want to be in 3 no trump rather than 4 hearts?
Yeah, but I mean, it was difficult. I mean, it's difficult when the bidding goes a club double pass. 2 clubs looks reasonable from North with 4-4 in the majors.
Yeah.
I can't bid no trumps really with 10 to 3 hearts now because that would show a different hand. It'd be hand for me too good to overcall a no trump.
Yeah.
I had to bid 2 hearts, and then North just seemed to have a normal 4 heart bid. So it was better on this hand to do what you did if you're just looking at our hands. But I got lucky on the hands, and that's probably all there is to be said about it.
It's a rare thing when you're luckier than I am, but there you go.
Nice balance between justifying his double on the one hand and complimenting Anita for not doing the same thing there. And as well as points for diplomacy, that result gave him another 3 imps.
It's a normal 1 no trump opener. Normal transfer accept. Okay, so I'm playing 2 hearts, and no, at least didn't back in. Should be a fairly dull contract. Okay, so for me, North hand's worth a try here. You should bid 2 no trumps, playing traditional methods, invitational with 5 hearts. I mean, this is a hand I'd rather bid 3 no trumps than pass 2 hearts. You've got an 8 count with a very good suit. So I would quite like to play this hand in 3 no trumps. So playing in 2 hearts is not ideal. So what am I going to do? If I play on spades, I can pitch a club. So maybe I should pick a heart to the ace and maybe play the spades, but I've not got an entry for the spades if the queen's on side. Well, let's do that anyway. Let's see. I've always got the king of diamonds as a possible entry. 8 of hearts came up on my right. Maybe he's got the queen. Yeah, queen 8. Always look at those sort of situations where the person on the right plays the 8 of hearts there. If it's a very good player, then I would basically ignore it. But if it's a less experienced player, they rarely play the 8 of hearts there unless they've got queen 8. They normally just play their lowest heart. So unless the hearts were 5-1 there, it's quite likely that it could be queen 8 doubleton. So anyway, I'm going to draw the rest of the trumps now that I've managed to get away with that. So he's just pitched a spade. And he's just pitched another spade. What should I throw here? Maybe I should throw a diamond, or should I throw a club? I'm going to throw a club, keep the diamond. No, let's try the spades. Okay, he's just put the ace up. Normally that would mean they've got the queen, because otherwise they would duck, but I don't really believe that with the robots. So I'm going to play a diamond up towards the king now. Okay, so it's whether or not I want to risk the spade finesse for another trick. Well, I'm going to try the 9 of hearts first and see what happens. He's just pitched the jack of diamonds. I'm starting to think that maybe East has got the spade. Queen, let's try that. Yeah, got the spade queen as well. Looks like I'm going to run out of tricks though after this one because they're going to be able to take the ace of diamonds and a club, or maybe I haven't got a club. Okay, the ace and 10 of diamonds. Okay, so I made 10. Nothing special about the hand. We just wish that we'd been in game, certainly 3 no trumps. But bear in mind the point I made about the 8 of hearts, especially if it's not an experienced player.
I agree with Peter. The North hand seems like an invite at the very minimum. I actually prefer 3 no trump to 2 no trump with such lovely hearts.
Offers for no trump opening. I do think that the robot should have given me a a choice here a little bit, because he's got the Jack 10, 9 of hearts and the 10 of spades. And I think he might have offered me 2 no trumps as a little bit of a choice. But let's see what we're going to do here. Well, I can only really take the finesse one way. Clubs, and another club. And spade. The spade, thank you. And take the ace of hearts. And then we're going to play king of diamonds. And then 9 of clubs. Ace of diamonds. Well, I could have made 4, but nonetheless.
Anita also making the point that the north hand is too good to pass. East playing back the jack of clubs, as they did at both tables, strongly suggests that West has led from only 2 clubs. So maybe throwing West in with the diamonds is a better bet than the spade finesse.
We both played in 2 hearts, and I made 1 more trick than you, which is good because you made 3 more tricks than me on board 2. So I haven't quite got to your level yet, but at least I beat you by 1 trick on board 7. The bidding is interesting in as much that I don't think there were many live Norths that would have passed 2 hearts here. After a strong no trump, North has got a clear move over 2 hearts, especially vulnerable at imps. So this has probably just got a normal 2 no trump bid. And then South has got a decision whether to pass or bid 3 no trumps. Now,
I would bid 3 no trump.
For me, I would bid 3 no trumps imps. I mean, I think it's closer at pairs. And I expect it to be brutally honest, I would depend on who I was playing against at pairs, whether I bid 3 no trumps or passed. If I was playing in a mixed field or not great opponents, I'll probably bid 3 on every day. But if I was playing in a top class field, I don't think there's a lot to be said for bidding 3N. But you've got 2 9s, I guess. But imps would always bid 3M.
So we're all in agreement about the bidding on that hand. Peter's extra over trick gains him an imp, so that puts him in a pretty unassailable position going into the last board with a lead of 25 imps to 6. Of course, Anita doesn't know that when she's playing the hands.
Okay, so I've got a good hand, but partner's not bid. I haven't got anything really sensible to say here. I've got a hand that probably wants to defend. My options are to make a take-out double, because I am level. I probably think you should pass, but with the robots, they tend not to bid, and I'm worried my partner might even have hearts and not bid, so I'm going to risk a take-out double. Okay, partner's bid 3 clubs. Let's see what this contract looks like. Okay, so I bought well. In fact, we could even make a game here. 5 clubs, diamond 6, 2 hearts, 8 and the spades 9. So 3 no trumps was cold. Didn't feel like it was a hand that I could bid again over 3 clubs because partner could have had virtually anything. So we've missed a game. Just checking the bidding partner. What part could partner have done? Partner didn't really have an ideal hand for 1 no trump over a spade, so I don't dislike their pass. But if they had bid a no trump, we'd have got to game. The 5 of spades lead. It's either 5-2 doubleton or a singleton. Does it any advantage to duck this? No, I don't think so. Do I want to try and play on hearts and see if there's any way I can set up hearts for a diamond pitch while retaining the clubs? Well, let's try that. I think we can. I'm only playing 3 clubs, so. Okay, let's have a look. I'm expecting the hearts to be 3-3 or West to have 2. Okay, so West is rough. I'm going to over-rough that. So I'm going to play a club to the queen. Okay, I'm going to try another heart. West is roughed again. Okay, so there's 1 more trump left. So if I cross to the club now, I can pitch my diamond on the 10 of hearts. I don't think there's much I can do here. Let's have a look. Wonder I can play ace of diamonds and a diamond, and maybe I can get a ruff and discard. Is that actually going to help me? No, I don't think it is, because I'm giving up a diamond, which I don't need to give up. I've tried ace of diamonds. Ruff. And a spade. I've got a spade to lose, and I can claim. Been a bit of a mixed bunch for me on this set. We'll see if Anita can beat me. She's normally far more aggressive than I am, so we'll see probably a few more wild actions from her.
I agree that double is the bid here. It's a bit risky, as it looks like partner may have 3 spades and we could have no fit. Disappointing to miss the game, but without more agreements, you're not going to get there on this auction.
Right, last board. Another nice big hand. Unfortunately, my partner's a passed hand, so I don't think we're going to be finding slam. I'm hoping that double says I have a good hand and asking my partners to do something sensible. Oh, he's obviously got short hearts. He's probably got 4 clubs. Let's see what happens. So we're going to take that. I'm going to play some hearts and rough a heart and hope that the hearts are 3-3. I'm going to make 3 clubs. And I need to keep Weststock lead with his spades. And I've got the ace of diamonds can come to dummy. I've got the ace queen of clubs. Probably should start by me playing a couple of clubs to see what's going on there. No, I think I'm going to start off playing some hearts. So East play one of his high-low signals. No idea what that means, but we can play the 10 of hearts. That's quite nice. And we can come back down, we can play another heart. Suits me fine, he's roughing my losers. And then we come back down. And we'll play a heart. And then we'll rough a diamond. And then spade. Making 5. Who knew?
Identical stuff from Anita here. Great minds think alike.
For me, the problem is North never got the hand across. Because if you actually look at the hand, you've actually got 9 top tricks in 3N, assuming break. Now, a heart, a spade. Now, I think North didn't have an attractive hand to bid a no trump. There wasn't really any, because ace to 4, but probably you might argue that they might have risked that, but they passed, and that went 2 diamonds. And South didn't have a particularly attractive double, and I might not have bid at the table, but playing with the robots, I felt like I had to bid because I know they don't always bid.
But it's interesting, both of us did exactly the same thing.
Yeah, and now North 3 club bid could have been like Jack to 5 clubs and nothing. So we had no idea what to do. So for me, Staff had a clear pass. The only thing you might be able to get away with is if you decided to play 2N as 11 sol here. So 3 clubs was constructive. And if 3 clubs
I see. Yes. What would we do here? What would 2 no trump by us have been?
Well, normally for us, 2 no trumps is 2 places to play.
Yeah, it's sort of scrambling, isn't it?
Yeah, so what would you do if you had 5 clubs and 2 hearts in the weekend?
Yeah.
So this is definitely a hand it's better to play 11 sol. And probably in this auction specifically, you should play 11 sol. Because if you've got a hand with 2 hearts and 5 clubs, you probably just bid 2 hearts over the double. You might not, because you're not committing to the level higher. So for me, I think it's better to play 11 sol here. In which case, if 3 clubs is constructive, then South has probably got probably got a 3N bid to risk it, because South can see 5 clubs, ace of diamonds, ace king of hearts, and hopefully another trick.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's very easy to bid with the robots.
Yeah. Well, they were at least interesting hands. And, congratulations to you, Peter, for being the better player.
I'm expecting my check in the post.
As Peter says, this is a hand where Lebensol would have solved the problem, allowing North to show a good 3-club bid, and at least allowing South the option to bid game. No swing though, and so the final result is a victory to Peter by 25 imps to 5. Well done to both players for taking part.
And viewers, if you're enjoying these challenges, and we've got some real corkers coming up, then please do consider supporting our work. Head over to patreon.com/ntbridge, where for less than the price of a cup of coffee each month, you can make a really important contribution to what we're doing. And don't forget that if you want to play the hands in the challenges, there'll be a link in the description below each video that will take you to a LIN file that you can upload to BBO. There's also a video on our channel explaining how to do this.